Mima is one of the most remote villages in Sri Lanka, nestled in the foothills of the Knuckles mountain range near the border of Kandy and Madale districts. The only access is via a 14-kilometre trail from the town of Lulwat. The village sits at approximately 1,200 feet above sea level. The climate is tropical montane, with cooler temperatures and high rainfall supporting lush cloud forest vegetation. The Knuckles Range is a biodiversity hotspot, home to endemic flora and fauna. There is no cellular service available in the village, though a CDMA telephone service exists. Mima gained prominence after being featured in the Sinhala film Surya Arana. Life here remains largely subsistence-based, isolated from modern infrastructure. Easter Island, or Rapa Nui, is a triangular amalgamation of 3 volcanoes that erupted between 780,000 and 110,000 years ago. It lies nearly 3,700 kilometers west of Chile and over 2,000 kilometers from the nearest inhabited land. The island sits on young oceanic crust near the East Pacific Rise, the world's fastest spreading ridge. Its subtropical climate supports grassland and sparse woodland. The island is renowned for nearly 900 moai, massive stone carvings whose transport and purpose remain mysterious. The native Polynesian population, now around 7,000, preserves a unique cultural identity shaped by extreme geographic isolation. The Kerguelen Islands are among the most isolated places on Earth, located more than 3,300 kilometers from Madagascar. They are the exposed part of the Kerguelen Plateau, a large igneous province, with Grande Terre being the largest island at 6,675 square kilometers. The archipelago features rugged mountains, glacier, and a capital at Port Auxiliary Francais. The subantarctic climate brings fierce winds, cold temperatures, and frequent precipitation. Vegetation is limited to tundra and mosses, but the islands support large seabird colonies and marine mammals. There are no permanent residents, only a small rotating scientific contingent. James Cook named them the Isles of Desolation in 1776. Ido-Kotoromit lies at 70 degrees north, roughly 800 kilometers from the nearest town, sandwiched between the world's largest national park and the planet's largest fjord system. No roads connect it to the outside world. Access is by helicopter, boat, or snowmobile. Sea ice freezes the village in for 9 months each year, yet provides a lifeline for Inuit hunters traveling by dog sled. The region is home to polar bears, musk oxen, and millions of seabirds nesting on icebergs. Founded in 1925, its population has been shrinking as younger generations migrate to cities. Climate change now threatens the sea ice upon which this remote community depends. Oymyakon is located deep in Siberia's Verkhoyansk mountain range, in a mountain valley where cold air pools, isolated from warmer currents by the Siberian high. It holds the record for the lowest temperature at a permanent human settlement, minus 71.2 degrees Celsius. Average winter temperatures hover around minus 50 degrees Celsius. The harsh continental climate results from extreme latitude, continental interior position, and valley topography. The village of about 500 residents survives through subsistence hunting, fishing, and reindeer herding. Daily life involves extraordinary adaptations. Cars must be kept running, and eyelashes freeze within seconds outdoors.
Socotra is one of the most isolated landforms of continental origin, having split from the supercontinent Gondwana millions of years ago. Located 380 kilometers south of the Arabian Peninsula, the island measures 132 kilometers in length. Its isolation has spawned extraordinary endemism. Up to 30% of its plant species are found nowhere else. The climate is tropical desert and semi-desert, with monsoon influences. The landscape is dominated by the iconic dragon's blood tree, with its umbrella-shaped canopy, and other bizarre, alien-looking flora. The archipelago was once part of Gondwana and detached during the Miocene epoch. Human habitation is sparse, with most Socotri living in small coastal villages.
Devon Island, in Canada's Nunavut Territory, is the world's largest uninhabited island, a polar desert of rocky, barren terrain. It features the 14-mile-wide Horton Impact Crater, a focal point for NASA research. The island experiences an Arctic climate, freezing temperatures, relentless wind, and minimal precipitation. Its dendritic meltwater channels and rocky desert conditions are strikingly analogous to Mars. Since 1997, NASA's Horton Mars project has used the island to develop exploration techniques for future manned missions to Mars. There is no permanent human population, only seasonal researchers. The island's isolation and harsh environment make it an ideal planetary analogue. Svalbard is located high above the Arctic Circle, roughly 1,200 miles north of mainland Norway, making it one of the closest landmasses to the North Pole. The main island, Spitsbergen, features ancient sedimentary rocks of Paleozoic and Mesozoic age. Longyearbyen, the largest settlement with about 1,750 residents, is the world's northernmost town with a population over 1,000. The Arctic climate brings months of complete darkness in winter and midnight sun in summer. The islands are home to more polar bears than people, as well as reindeer and Arctic foxes. Strict environmental regulations govern life here. It is illegal to be born or die on Svalbard due to permafrost preventing proper burial. McMurdo Station is built on volcanic rock, marking the southernmost solid ground accessible by ship. Located in Antarctica, the coldest continent on Earth, it is approximately 600 miles from the nearest country, Chile. The station serves as the logistical hub for most scientific research across the continent. The Antarctic climate is extreme. Temperatures have plummeted to minus 89.2 degrees Celsius. The station hosts about 1,000 people in summer and around 150 in winter, operating on an independent power grid. The surrounding environment is a vast ice sheet with unique wildlife including penguins, seals, and seabirds. Access is primarily by air and sea during a brief summer window.
Gassadala is a remote village on the island of Vaga in the Faroe Islands, a North Atlantic archipelago between Norway and Iceland. Until a tunnel was built in 2004, it was the only village in the Faroes without road connection, accessible only by hiking on foot over rugged mountains. The village is surrounded by dramatic mountain landscapes and overlooks the famous Mollafossa waterfall, which plunges directly into the ocean. The subpolar oceanic climate brings cool summers, mild winters, and frequent wind and rain. The population is approximately 14, making it one of the smallest communities in the archipelago. The isolation and breathtaking scenery have made it a bucket list destination for adventurous travelers.
Delft Island, also known as Nedenthevu, is Sri Lanka's most remote inhabited island, located off the coast of Jaffna in the northern province. The island measures 11 kilometers long and 6 kilometers wide. It is a flat, windswept landmass formed from coral limestone, surrounded by shallow coastal waters. The climate is tropical, with a distinct dry season influenced by the northeast monsoon. The island's isolation has preserved a quiet lifestyle, with roughly 600 Tamil residents, many of whom have lived here for generations. The landscape is dotted with remnants of colonial history, including ruins of a Dutch fort and wild ponies introduced during the colonial era. Access is by boat, and the island remains relatively untouched by modernity. Dallol is located in the Danakil Depression of northern Ethiopia, one of the lowest and hottest places on the planet. It sits approximately 125 meters below sea level in the Afar Triangle, where the African, Arabian, and Somali tectonic plates are pulling apart. The climate is extreme desert. Average daily temperatures exceed 34 degrees Celsius year-round, making it the hottest inhabited place on Earth. The landscape is surreal. Colorful hydrothermal springs, salt flats, and active volcanic vents create a kaleidoscope of yellows, greens, and oranges. The area is known for its salt mining, with caravans of camels transporting salt blocks across the harsh terrain. The combination of extreme heat, isolation, and volcanic activity makes Dallol one of Earth's most otherworldly and inhospitable locations.
Macquarie Island is located halfway between Australia and Antarctica in the southwestern Pacific Ocean. It is a rugged, windswept island formed by the uplift of oceanic crust at the boundary between the Pacific and Indo-Australian tectonic plates. The island is the only place on Earth where rocks from the Earth's mantle are actively exposed above sea level. The subantarctic climate brings strong westerly winds, frequent precipitation, and cool temperatures year-round. The island is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and a haven for wildlife, hosting vast colonies of penguins, seals, and seabirds. There is no permanent human population, only seasonal researchers. Its extreme isolation and harsh conditions keep it off the radar for most travelers. Kolmanskop is a ghost town in the Namib Desert of southern Namibia, located near the port of Luderitz. It was founded in 1908 after the discovery of diamonds and quickly became a prosperous settlement with hospitals, a casino, and a power station. However, the diamond fields were depleted by the 1950s, and the town was abandoned. Today, it stands as one of the most isolated and surreal ghost towns on Earth. The desert climate is hyper-arid, with almost no rainfall and extreme temperature swings. The iconic image of Kolmanskop is its sand-filled ruins, where the relentless Namib winds have buried the buildings in dunes. The town's isolation in the vast Namib desert and its haunting beauty attract photographers and adventurers from around the world.